Hello, friend, and welcome to Daily Treasure, a devotional podcast by Sharon Betters, produced by Mark Inc. Ministries. This week, our guest writer is our friend Barbara Rioch, and I am your narrator, Jane Ann Wilson. Today's devotional is, Where is God in this story? Today's treasure is, And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, May he be blessed by the Lord, whose kindness has not forsaken the living or the dead. Naomi also said to her, The man is a close relative of ours, one of our redeemers. And Ruth the Moabite said, Besides, he said to me, You shall keep close by my young men until they have finished all my harvest. And Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women, lest in another field you be assaulted. Ruth 2:20 and 22. Ruth is hungry. Even if Naomi doesn't seem to be thinking of the next meal, Ruth knows they need to eat. She asks her mother-in-law's permission and leaves to go to a field on the outskirts of the city in the second chapter of Ruth. She joins the others who are poor. In the back-breaking work of gathering the scattered grain the harvesters leave behind. Where is God in this story? His name is hardly mentioned. Yet a series of, it just so happened, events unfold. The women happen to arrive as the barley harvest begins. Ruth happens to meet Boaz, who happens to be Naomi's relative. Where is God? We see God everywhere in the book of Ruth. He weaves together every event in the lives of his people for his redemptive purposes in the world. I knew God had called us to missions. Of course, I knew I'd miss my family. I was right. It hurt. I knew culture shock would hit us. I was right. It did. But what I didn't know shocked and hurt me more as we lived out our daily lives in this new area of the world. Why did a simple comment from my coworker make me so angry? Were her words really that harsh? Where did this fear and guilt come from? I'd like to say the challenges got easier. That wasn't God's plan. Yet God assured me he was with us. In all truth, God had extended this invitation to me a few months before we even left for the mission field. I'm not talking about the call to be a missionary. I'm talking about becoming a mother-in-law. My son Ben had stood at the altar beaming at Stacy. I rejoiced that they were starting a new life together. I knew his relationship with his new bride would take precedence over me, his mother. But boy, did I underestimate the cost of living so far away from this new daughter-in-law. Help, God. God did not leave me to figure it out. He heard my cry for help and came to me. God just so happened to give me challenges with coworkers. At the same time, he gave my marriage new work to do in missions. God just so happened to give me a new daughter-in-law. At the same time, he moved me across the ocean. None of this was by chance or coincidence. Just like in Ruth's and Naomi's stories, God did not make a mistake. God knew the best way to show his glory and goodness to Stacy and me was to allow the challenges of our relationship to increase. No matter how the challenges are increasing for you and your in-law, none of it just so happened. God is the one behind the scenes, lining all the circumstances up just so. He is doing this to help you lean into him, to help you learn how to love as he does, to change you into the image of his Son. For reflection, what challenges or blessings in your life feel like they just so happened? In what ways is God clearly at work in these situations?
Friends, I pray that as you are listening, that the Lord is using the words that Barbara Rioch has shared with us to help turn your heart toward Jesus. Whether it's for an in-law relationship or a friendship or another family member, we know that God has truth for us here and he has guidance and wisdom. And it's our prayer that you are experiencing that. But sometimes, we get into situations where we need more. We need more than a friend walking with us. We need someone who can be objective. And that's when we need to turn to a counselor. And I want to encourage you to check out Anchored Hope Biblical Online Counseling. It is a ministry that Mark Inc. started, and it is having an impact across the world as people are finding their way to the help and hope of the gospel that is shared by these trained and certified counselors. You can learn more by going to helpandhopenow.org. Go to helpandhopenow.org and check out the link for Anchored Hope. Look at the counselors, pick out a counselor, have an online counseling appointment. We know that God has already transformed lives through this ministry of His Word, and we know that there is help and hope there for you. I'm Sharon Betters. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to being with you tomorrow.